All right, this brother coming to the stage was actually referred to me by a friend of mine, Robin Latimer Johnson, who's the head of the Sci-Fi Channel and BET. And she said, I got a guy that you need to see. He's very funny. You just need to funnel him in the right direction, and he's gonna be good. She was not lying. He came here, did his thing. I've seen him grow. You're gonna love him. Give it up for my man, Willie Macc, y'all. Show him some love.
That's what I do. Yeah. See, I've learned a lot in the short years that I've been on this earth. Like, one of the few things that I've learned was that no matter how old you get, life is always too short. Like my grandma. My grandma a couple of months ago turned 102. Yeah. So we go down there, celebrate my grandma's 102nd birthday, and my auntie is like, wow, your grandma's in her early hundreds. And I start to think to myself, like 102, what the fuck is early about being 102? But it's cool, because I have one of those super cool grandmas that still thinks she's young, that she likes to do a lot of young things. Like, I remember when we was younger, my grandma used to read us bedtime stories. But her age would catch up with her. Because, like, the thing about my grandma reading bedtime stories was that she would fall asleep before we would. Like, I still don't know who won the race between the tortoise and the hare. The last thing I remember was the hare was winning. That was it. I had to wait till I learned to read that Humpty Dumpty never got put back together again. Even as I started to grow, my grandma still tried to help out in the age, and she really started to show her age. Like when I was in school, she used to try to help me with my history homework. And my grandma will remember shit that's in my history book. Like I was doing a report on Martin Luther King, and she was like, oh, Marty. Oh, Marty. Like, Grandma, you knew Martin Luther King? She said, hell yeah. Back before he was doing speeches and shit, Martin Luther King used to be a pimp. Like, what the fuck? She like had the finest hoes all in Memphis. Even when she tried to help me out when I started doing my homework on like Harriet Tubman, she's like, ha ha. That was my bitch. Like, what? Grandma, you used to kick it with Harriet Tubman? She's like, hell yeah, we used to drink moonshine and cut a rug all the time. Before she got all underground on everybody. But it doesn't just have to be like my history book. It can be like, we can be sitting there saying our prayer, like our grace or whatever, over the food. And she'd be like, Lord, I come to you today to ask you back for that favor that I gave you back in the Bible days. Like, whoa, Grandma, you playing? You knew Jesus? She's like, hell yeah. Who you think cleaned up after he fed the 5,000? Like, even to this day, like, we went down, like I said, went down there, celebrated with my grandma, we went to the bar, and I usually get me like a cranberry and vodka, or I get me a vodka and Red Bull or whatever. My grandma would be like, oh, can I get a vodka and Lipitor? Like, Grandma, they don't have fucking Lipitor at the bar. So I'm still new to LA, like I'm still learning my way around or whatever. I've been out here for a little while. And since I've been out here, I've realized that LA is one of those cities where it's one of those cities that's survival of the fittest. Like you really gotta be on your stuff. Like since I've been out here, I've been shot at 4 times. My car got broken into, and my place got robbed. But I got that taken care of because I broke up with that girl. So I'm back in the dating scene, and I want to let you all know that I had to let my lady know that, look, it's not that I'm cheap, it's that I'm broke. There's a difference that goes on in a broke man's mind frame. Like every time we go out to a restaurant, I don't think about how much it costs. I think about how many hours I gotta work at my job to pay for this damn meal. Like it was my girl's birthday a couple months ago, and I went and took her, I said, you can go ahead and get whatever you want. And I thought whatever you want stopped at Red Lobster. It didn't. It stopped on west of La Brea. And if you know anything about west of La Brea, everything is fucking expensive on the west side of La Brea. She wanted to go to this restaurant called Koi. A lot of y'all familiar with Koi? Koi is expensive as fuck. So I tell her, go ahead, get what you want, it's your birthday, fuck whatever, I don't care. So she's like, fine, I'll take a steak and lobster. So I'm thinking in my head, shit, I gotta work at least 2 shifts at my job to pay for this damn meal. And then when you think it stopped right there, she's like, and I'll take a margarita. Like, fuck, now I'm doing overtime. And right when we about to leave, I'm thinking that's all I'm about to pay. The waiter goes ahead and throw a little hater move, because I was like, can I get the bill, please? We need to hurry get the fuck out of here. The waiter comes back and said, would y'all like dessert? So I'm looking at her, like, you better not order no dessert. She looking at me like, I want dessert. I'm like, you better not order dessert. She's like, I don't want dessert. So she's like, can I get that chocolate mousse? It was like a chocolate, it was some type of dish. So I'm like, fuck, now I gotta work on Saturday. So we go ahead and leave, and I'm driving home all pissed off, like, this motherfucker done used up all this money. She's like, so are we still hanging out on Saturday? I'm like, no, we're not. I gotta go to fucking work. And another thing about LA is that LA is expensive as hell, like I said before, and I have a roommate. And I have a roommate that recently came out. We've been living together for like the past 3 years or whatever, and he wanted to come out to me and says, Willie, I want to let you know we've been roommates for the past 3 years, and I want to let you know that I'm gay. And I was like, Steve, I've been knowing your ass was gay. And he was like, how'd you find out? He was like, is it because every time we go to play basketball, I put baby oil on? I'm like, he's like, I told you that helps me dunk. Like, Steve, you a 5'5", you was never able to dunk. Even in the video game, Steve doesn't fucking dunk. He's like, so when did you find out? He's like, is it because when we go to the club, I'm the only guy that dances to single ladies? I'm like, no, that's gay, but I knew before then. He's like, so Willie, when was it? Because when you walked in the house the other day, you called me sucking Dave's dick? I was like, no, that was gay, but I knew before then too, Steve. You tell me every year, this time, that you're gay. Every year he wants to come out and let me know this. And since he's been telling me, since this incident, again, everything that Steve does now just seems to be a little bit more gay. Like, even when he's cooking. Like, his food doesn't sizzle like normal foods. It doesn't just sizzle and sizzle. It's more like, sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Like, nigga, how do you have gay bacon? And, like, one of my favorite cereals that's in the apartment is Rice Krispie Treats. Like, we have our own Rice Krispie Treats, like, we pay separately. So I have my Rice Krispie Treats, and you know Rice Krispies, they snap, crackle, and pop. Not his, exactly. Steve's Rice Krispies be like snap, snap, and pop. Like, whoa, you got gay Rice Krispies too? So I did a reality show out here called College Hill on BET. And one of the things about doing reality shows or shows in general is that you have to sign confidentiality agreements. Like, you can't tell what's gonna happen on the next season or the next episode or nothing like that. Like, my family and friends would sit there and be like, Willie, so what's gonna happen on the next episode? And I tell them, like, I can't tell you, I signed a confidentiality agreement. I remember this one girl come up to me at the club. She was like, hey, Willie Macc, so what happens on the next episode? I'm like, baby girl, I can't tell you, because I signed a confidentiality agreement. So she's like, what if I let you hit? So I hit. But to stay true to the confidentiality agreement, I still don't tell her. And so maybe a few days passed or whatever, and I started getting that itch in that certain area, started burning or whatever, it was all bad. Yet, that's what I said. So I hit her up on the phone, like, hey, my stuff ain't right. Do you have something? Can you tell me what's going on? Like, you should have told me before what's going on. She's like, me and my doctor signed a confidentiality agreement. I'm Willie Macc, y'all. Y'all take care.
Give it up for Willie Macc, y'all.
Thank you.